Hi, guys. Welcome to week 2 of our Let's Talk lessons. This week, we're going to get into citizenship, mainly because at the end of this week, it is 4th of July, and that is celebrating our independence. And one of the things that we have to be careful of and make sure that we're being respectful of being a citizen. So let's start off with citizenship in general. What does it mean to be a good citizen? So if you're a citizen, that just means that you are a law abiding human being of the United States, that you follow the rules and regulations that the United States puts up for us, and that you do so responsibly and respectfully to our nation. So being a good citizen is has lots of dimensions to it. It has lots of different parts. It has responsibilities, it has respect, it has all of those pillars, but it also requires you to make sure that you're treating your nation in the correct way. So just like we did with our responsibility pillar, I'm going to go through just some of the ways that being a good citizen, or ways that you can be a good citizen, or being some of the ways that you should be being a citizen of the United States. So the first one says, do your share to make your school or community better. Think about what that means. There are a lot of different ways that you can do your share to make your community better or your school better. You can pick up trash. You can follow the laws or the rules of your school. You can attend school daily. Free public education is something that we have in the United States that they don't have everywhere around the world. And it is really, really, really awesome that we don't have to pay in order to go to school. So, what is it that you can do in order to help support your school? Maybe that means going to some fundraisers or participating in fundraisers. Maybe that means that you're turning in your work on time or you're completing your work to the best of your ability. All of those things would be making your school better. It would be making your school more of a school that people want to come to or people want to support. Same thing with your community. Like I said, following rules, picking up trash, not throwing trash. That would be something that would make you a good citizen of your community. The second one says cooperate. To cooperate means what? It means to work together or to do something together with someone else to the best of your ability. So, cooperating makes you a good citizen when you cooperate with laws, when you cooperate with rules, when we cooperate with one another. We're not fighting each other. We're not trying to make someone else look like somebody that they're not. Cooperating means being a team and trying to do things together in order to make sure that your nation or your city or your town or your state is the best that it can be. It says get involved in community affairs. A community affair would be something kind of like a fundraiser or going to church or even going to some of the farmers markets or things that we have around, participating in organizations that look out for your community, that help with your community. Community affairs are just the things that your community puts on. Be supportive. I live in Millington and I know we have Millington Day every year. And although it's not anything that's really, really big, it is my community and it's community members that have come out to sell their food or sell their goods or tell other people what it is that they do within our community that we can be supportive of. And so even though it's nothing big, it's something to do and it's some way to support our community. The next one says stay informed and vote. That's a little harder for some of us because we are not old enough. I am, but you are not old enough to vote. So if it's saying that you have to vote, that doesn't mean that you have to vote for your president or for community members or the people in your community. It just means that you need to be informed of the things that these people support. Okay, grown-ups have to go and vote. We don't just go and mark a check next to somebody. We do research. We think about what they say. We think about what they do. We look into their history. We look into the things that they're saying they're going to do to change our country or to change our town. And we make an educated decision about whether or not that's somebody that believes in the same things that we have. So even though you're not old enough to actually vote, you're very much old enough to be able to listen to what these people want to do for your community and then make an educated guess about whether or not that's something that you believe in and you feel like would benefit your community as well. Be a good neighbor. Be a good neighbor. That means be respectful of the area in which you live. If you are taking your dog, even something as simple as if you're taking your dog for a walk and it does its business, pick it up, keep your community clean, right? When you're riding your bikes in your neighborhood, be respectful of the people who are there. Don't ride your bike down the sidewalk when there's people walking on the sidewalk. Okay, be a good neighbor just means be respectful of the people who are around you. It might not necessarily mean be a good neighbor to the people who are right on either side, but it does mean be a good neighbor. Be someone who is supportive of your community. Be somebody who they want to look at you and say, hey, this person is a really upstanding young lady or upstanding young man, and they are doing the right things in our neighborhood. It says obey laws and rules. I think that is just a given. To obey laws and rules is something that if you're not doing, you're going to get in trouble for not doing. Being a good citizen means that it is your responsibility to follow those laws and follow those rules. And kind of like we talked about with responsibility last week, if you choose not to follow those rules or follow those laws, then that means you're also choosing the consequence that goes along with it. We might not always agree with what people have for our rules and laws. Sometimes I think it's ridiculous, a speed limit on a certain road. However, it's the speed limit. And if I choose not to go that speed limit and I get pulled over, I made that choice. And it's not making me a good citizen or really a good neighbor of that community because there must be a reason why the speed is slower in an area. Maybe there's lots of children that live there. Maybe there's someone with disabilities who lives there. That's a reason why there would be a speed limit that's a little bit slower. So, as a good citizen, as a good community member, I need to respect authority. This is also sometimes hard for us. We don't like to be told what to do. I think that's just human nature that we don't like for someone to correct us or someone to tell us what we're doing wrong or tell us what to do. However, those people are put in place for a reason. And a lot of times we just don't understand why things are the way that they are, but we still have to respect them and we still have to make sure that if we made the choice to have a bad we made a bad choice that we have to deal with the consequences. And sometimes authority members come in like police officers or volunteer fire members. All of those kinds of people are authority. They're telling you what to do. Anybody older than you is authority. Anybody who is meant to uphold those laws and make sure that they're being followed, that is an authority member. Protect the environment. We talked about this a little bit, but not littering or picking up litter is a way to protect your environment, to keep your community clean and safe. It might just seem like, oh, well, that's just a napkin that blew away. But you never know where that napkin might go. And we've all seen the horrible images of the animals that suffer because of us not protecting our environment, not walking by and picking branches off of trees that don't belong to us, or not walking by and messing up people's landscaping, or even just simple things like making sure that you're planting trees and helping out when it comes to increasing the beautiful plants and things in our environment. But that makes you a good citizen. The last one is something that's very important. And you guys have done this every single year at Horizons. But this year, we are not together at Horizons to kind of force you to do this. So I'm hoping that you will take it upon yourselves to volunteer in your communities. Several of you guys, like I said, you've done that in Horizons. You volunteered at the food pantries, or you volunteered serving food to community members. That's so great. Several of you last year volunteered reading to nursing homes, or you volunteered by just entertaining people in nursing homes. I know a lot of that might not be possible this year with everything going on, but what can you do to volunteer for your community? Maybe it's just volunteering to pick up trash without somebody asking you. Maybe it's volunteering to help put on something that a church is doing. But volunteering is so very important in your community because it helps your community establish a place and it helps your community become a community that other people want to learn about and know about. So I want to see what you guys can do to be a good citizen this week. We're going to talk about lots of different levels of citizenship this week. But I want you to remember you have your independence. You have the ability to make choices. Yes, we have rules to follow and obey, but we have to do those things in order to represent and support our towns, our states, and our nation. So be a good citizen and remember to keep check back with us tomorrow for another Let's Talk lesson.